Everybody is talking about what YouTube changed. Almost nobody is talking about what that change is going to make creators do. YouTube can earn money from your videos before you ever see a dime. And starting in 2027, new creators are going to have to work considerably harder before they qualify for their share. The bar is getting higher, and that changes the economics of starting a YouTube channel. 4,000 watch hours becomes 8,000. 10 million shorts views becomes 20 million. YouTube says there are good reasons for the change. Maybe there are. But there's also a simple business reality here. The longer a creator remains outside full monetization, the longer YouTube can potentially earn money from that content without sharing the normal advertising revenue with that creator. YouTube gets paid first. And that may have consequences YouTube never intended. Fewer new creators, more pressure to crank out content, more opportunities for competing platforms, and ironically, a much stronger reason for creators to start using artificial intelligence. I'm Marc Kimball. I've been working in filmmaking and production since the early 80s, and one thing I've learned is that whenever somebody changes the economics of a creative business, eventually they change what gets created. Today, a new creator generally needs 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 qualified public watch hours, over 12 months to qualify for advertising, and premium revenue sharing through long-form video. Beginning February 1st, 2027, YouTube says new creators will need 8,000 qualified watch hours in 365 days, or 20 million qualified shorts views in 90 days. Creators already in the partner program won't be affected. That's a significant increase. And I want to make something clear. I'm not saying YouTube is doing something evil. YouTube is a business. But there is a financial consequence here that shouldn't be ignored. YouTube's own policies allow it to serve advertising on content, even when a channel hasn't reached the partner program, requirements necessary for that creator to participate in the advertising revenue. So the creator can write the show, shoot it, edit it, buy the equipment, pay for the software, and invest hundreds of hours building an audience, while YouTube can potentially sell advertising around that content before the creator is eligible to participate in that revenue. Now, YouTube is raising the threshold new creators have to reach before qualifying. I'm not claiming that keeping more advertising revenue is why YouTube made this decision. I don't know that. YouTube hasn't said that. But economically, the effect is obvious. If creators take longer to qualify, YouTube can potentially take longer before it has to share eligible advertising revenue with them. And that changes the calculation for the creator. Imagine you're 25 years old with a great idea for a serious YouTube channel. You're spending money, and more importantly, your time before you know whether anybody will ever watch. Now, you're told, before you participate in advertising revenue, we want 8,000 qualified hours of people watching your work. A talented creator may ask, why bother? Raising the bar doesn't necessarily mean you get better creators. You may simply get fewer creators willing to take the financial risk. And there's another risk, competition. A competing platform doesn't have to replace YouTube. It simply has to offer creators a better economic relationship. YouTube can remain the place for discovery while creators build subscriptions, memberships, or direct audience relationships somewhere else. YouTube doesn't have to lose the creator completely to lose part of the creator's business. But there's another possibility. Creators stay and respond by producing more, a lot more. If 12 videos aren't generating enough watch time, maybe you need 30. If 30 aren't enough, maybe you need 60. Maybe you need 100. Suddenly, the question changes from, how do I make the best show possible, to, how do I make enough shows? And this is where the irony becomes impossible to ignore. We hear constant complaints about AI slop, too much content, too many automatically generated videos, too much disposable material flooding the internet. At almost the same moment, YouTube is significantly raising the amount of audience consumption a new creator needs before qualifying for advertising revenue. What do we think creators are going to do? Some of them are going to race. More scripts, More videos, more thumbnails, more uploads, cheaper, faster. And what's the most obvious technology available today for doing exactly that? Artificial intelligence. That's why I think YouTube may have just made AI more valuable to creators without ever telling creators to use AI. If you're expected to produce at scale, you have to reduce production costs, remove bottlenecks, and become more efficient. And this is where I can speak from experience. The show you're watching right now is an AI-assisted production. The host is an AI version of me. AI is part of the voice, graphics, and production workflow. But the ideas are mine. The point of view is mine. The editorial decisions are mine. I'm developing the arguments, rewriting, producing, editing, and deciding what works. AI isn't replacing my point of view. It's removing the production friction required to put that point of view on the screen. I've essentially built a small AI-assisted production studio around myself, not because I'm trying to flood YouTube with content, but because I'm trying to make serious programming at a level I can sustain. And I built this system before YouTube announced that it was doubling the watch hour requirement. Now that same production model makes even more economic sense. Because if creators increasingly need large libraries of quality programming to compete, production efficiency becomes incredibly important. And that means we need to make a distinction about AI. There are two very different ways creators can use it. One is to make more stuff, generate a script, generate a voice, generate pictures, upload it, do it again. That's the content factory. The other is to make more possible. Give one filmmaker, journalist, educator, animator, or storyteller some of the production capabilities that once required an entire team. The human still decides what should be made. The human still has a point of view. The human still makes the creative decisions. One uses AI to eliminate thought. The other uses AI to eliminate friction. And that distinction matters. Because if you make the bar for earning money too high, you don't necessarily increase quality. You may create an incentive for creators to pump out more material simply to accumulate enough watch time to reach monetization. The filmmaker who would normally spend 3 weeks making one exceptional documentary may start wondering whether they need to make 3 pretty good ones instead. That's not necessarily better for the viewer. So the real question isn't simply, should YouTube raise the requirements? It's this: what behavior does YouTube want its economic system to encourage? Platforms shape creative culture, change the economics, and eventually you change what gets produced. YouTube wants more viewing and more programming, and like any business, it wants to make money. But creators respond to incentives too. If the price of participating in advertising revenue becomes generating 8,000 hours of somebody else's attention, we shouldn't be surprised when creators search for every possible way to make production faster, cheaper, and more efficient. And today, there is one technology sitting right in front of them capable of doing exactly that: artificial intelligence. That's the irony I can't get past. We may spend the next several years complaining that AI is filling YouTube with too much content, while the economics of YouTube are simultaneously telling new creators, generate 8,000 hours of attention, or don't participate in the advertising economics. Maybe those two things aren't unrelated. And there's one final question. YouTube may ultimately have to answer, how high can you raise the price of admission before talented creators decide they'd rather build somewhere else? Creators provide the programming. Creators take the initial financial risk. Creators invest the time. The smartest creator economy won't necessarily belong to the platform with the highest barrier. It may belong to the platform that makes creators believe, if you create something valuable here, we both succeed. I'm Marc Kimball. This is the Politics of AI Filmmaking, and the show you just watched may actually be part of the answer.